So we changed a lot of UI stuff also, streamlined. I don't really remember what has been in these previous sprints or not. But okay, so we have our game right here. Um, so we have initialized and we have our actions and everything. We also added this intern button for when you're playing multiplayer. So you don't have to just like go and burn through all your actions doing stuff you don't really want to do. So say if I switch to Lannister right now, um, we can see we have the build and train and whatnot. And so if I buy a swordman, um, then we get this command menu. If we open the command menu up, then we can see my ally units I have on the tile, and then if there's any enemy units there, and then we also have the option to move the units. Um, Also, with these military units, I completely went through and redid everything. So I added a bunch of new military units and broke them up into a 3-tier system, or it's 4-tier system with 3 different enemy types, melee, range, and siege. Pretty much should be like a rock, paper, scissors type thing. They can all damage each other, but depending what of the 3 types of the unit is depends how makes how efficient it is at fighting other people. And then I also redid all the pricings to be more uniform and more balanced. Yeah, so I got that. So now, so we have our military units, so we can select the unit we want to move and then click move. And from that, when we hover over tiles now, as you can see, it does this A star path tracing and makes this line to where we want to move. So say I want to move it right here. So when I click on the tile now, it prompts me pay 8 labor to move the unit there, and I can confirm that. And then when I check over here, I can see there's no units over there anymore. But now when I click here, I have the command units, and also I can claim this tile, which I can't claim the tile if I don't have a military unit on it. So that's one thing we also changed, is that you can only claim a tile if you have a military unit. Um, but speaking of the charging labor to move units, we wanted to, since you can pretty much move a unit to any point on the map from any point on the map, we wanted to disincentivize people just like hopping all the way across the map and attacking your base and whatnot. So we added this cost. So it costs labor to move your units, and we just did it. Um, it costs 1 labor to move 1 tile. So this going from here down to here, it went through 8 tiles to get to. Um, and then so it takes how many tiles you're moving them, and then multiplies by how many units you're moving. So if we were moving 2 units, then it would be 8 times 2, so 16. So it would cost more. So it exponentially gets higher and higher. So it's a lot harder to move mass quantities of units around the map. And also it takes actions and whatnot. But yeah, so if we swap back to Stark here, we can train our units. Say I want to build 3 swordmen and say like a javelin man, sure. And then also updated the nation menu so you can see all the research and what units we have and whatnot. But if we go to command, we can select what units we want to move, and so we can move them to this tile. And if I go and click on this new tile, we can see my units are there, and also the enemy Lannister units there. And so when there's ally units and enemy units on tile, then you also get this new option, attack. So if you attack, it does a calculation, and it calculates the total damage of each unit combined, like the net damage of each unit for both sides. And then it takes the net health and subtracts it by the damage in like some formula by the enemy's damage. Your health minus the enemy's damage. And so that's why they end up as like negatives. And then we can see that the stats of the units that were in the battle and also their stats and their health and whatnot. And since the Stark won the battle, their units are alive. And now Lannister, their units are dead. So if we swapped over to Lannister and check on that tile, then they would no longer have the units.